Everyone, and I'm now going to call the public hearing of Thursday, January the 15th, 2026 to order. This meeting is being held in person and by electronic means. Council members and the public may participate by either method. Any members joining electronically are reminded to enable their video to confirm quorum. The meeting is being live streamed on the city's website and YouTube, and meeting progress will be updated regularly on X at Van City Clerk. In the case of an emergency requiring evacuation, there are two exits located beyond the glass doors and to the left of the pillar. If the glass doors are blocked for any reason whatsoever, please use one of the four exits on the side of the chamber. Do not use the elevator, use the stairs instead. And if you need assistance, remain where you are, and one of our incredibly friendly security team members will guide you to a safe location. Also, if this council meeting or public hearing gets a little heated and you need a defibrillator, there is one available at the end of the hallway just outside of the chamber. I do want to acknowledge that we are hosting today's public hearing on the traditional territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh people, and I do want to thank them for their generosity and their hospitality and loving care they show this great land that we get to live, work, and play on. I also want to recognize our incredible team members throughout the city of Vancouver who work incredibly hard every single day with a lot of passion to make the city a better place. So thank you very much. With that, can we please get a roll call?
Mayor Sim in the chair, Councillor Kirby-Young, Councillor Dominato, not present, Councillor Bly, not present, Councillor Fry, Councillor Montague,
Present.
Councillor Klassen,
Present.
Councillor Meisner,
Present.
Councillor Joe, Councillor Orr, Councillor Maloney. This meeting has quorum, Mayor Sim.
Great, thank you very much. So before we begin, we do have a few announcements. The public may speak in person or by phone or may submit written comments to Mayor and Council. Speakers may only speak once and will have up to 5 minutes to comment on the merits of the application. Please state whether you support or oppose the recommendations and if you are a resident of Vancouver. Those representing 4 or more individuals or groups, including themselves, may speak for up to 8 minutes. Each person being represented must confirm their presence in person or by phone and may not speak separately. Please follow the live stream on @VanCityClerk on X to track meeting progress and know when your turn to speak is approaching. Please note the live stream does have a slight delay. Written comments can be submitted through the Mayor and Council public hearing feedback form linked on X. If you pre-registered with the presentation, say next to have the clerk advance your slides. A reminder, at public hearings, council acts as a quasi-judicial body and must focus solely on the merits of the rezoning or heritage application. Members may members may ask clarifying questions of team members or speakers, including the applicant, but should reserve debate until the speakers list has been closed. After hearing from speakers, council may 1, approve the application in principle, 2, approve the application in principle with amendments, 3, refuse the application, or 4, refer the application to our team members for further consideration. Please note that a new public speaker podium has been installed on the left side of the public gallery to my right. At the moment, podium heights cannot be adjusted by the clerk, so please adjust the podium as needed using the controls on your right-hand side. Finally, if not all speakers are heard this evening, the public hearing will recess and reconvene on Thursday, January the 22nd at 3 p.m. So the first item on the docket is item number 1, rezoning 5238 through 5262 Granville Street and 1495 West 37th Avenue. So before we begin, if anyone believes that they have a conflict of interest, now is the time to declare it. Does anybody have a conflict to disclose? Seeing no one's hands up, the clerk is now going to read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Granville Street G37 Project LP to rezone 5238 to 5262 Granville Street and 1495 West 37th Avenue from R1-1 Residential Inclusive District to RR-2B Residential Rental District to permit the development of a 5-story residential rental building, a floor space ratio FSR of 2.40 and a height of 16.8 meters, 55 feet are proposed. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. 26 pieces of correspondence in support, 1 piece of correspondence in opposition. This represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll-free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 10614445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. So now we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Esther Ewan, and I'm the rezoning planner for this rezoning application considered under the Secured Rental Policy. The Secured Rental Policy, or SRP, encourages new, purpose-built rental housing and aligns with the rental housing goals of the Housing Vancouver strategy and the Vancouver Plan. Updates to the SRP were approved by Council in 2021 to create residential rental zones and a map with eligible areas for the standardized RR zones. Rezonings to rental district schedules follow a simplified rezoning process that establishes clarity on permitted height, use, and density. The schedules include design guidelines, and the specific building design will be reviewed during a future development permit process. This map shows sites that are eligible for rezoning. The sites are close to public transit and local shopping and are located on eligible on and off arterial roads. The yellow star indicates the proposed rezoning site near the intersection of Granville and West 41st Avenue. The site, outlined in red, is comprised of 3 parcels and developed with 3 single detached houses that are not listed on the Vancouver Heritage Register. The property contains 3 rental tenancies, and the tenant relocation and protection policy applies. The site and surrounding areas are zoned R11 and CD1, and the site immediately north was approved at public for RR2B. Consistent with the SRP, the site is located near several parks, schools, and shopping areas. The site is also well served by frequent bus service along Granville Street and 41st Avenue and is adjacent to the West 37th Avenue bikeway. The eligible RR zones are shown here. Of all the options, the applicant has selected RR2B. The RR2B zone allows for a 5-story apartment building and a density of up to 2.4 FSR. A total of 9 submissions were received during public consultation. General comments of support were received for more rental housing. Concerns were expressed regarding density that could exacerbate existing traffic issues and the proposed building height, which is inconsistent with the existing neighborhood character and would cause shadowing. In response, engineering staff have included conditions to deliver street improvements to address safety for all road users. Regarding height, density, and location, the proposal and form of development is consistent with the SRP. The public benefits include a DCL contribution of $3 million. Additional benefits include the estimated 96 units of market rental housing that are secured through a housing agreement. In conclusion, this proposal meets the intent of the SRP policy. Staff recommend approval subject to the conditions outlined in Appendix B of the report. For information at the Council meeting on December 10th, 2025, Council approved a policy report that included recommendations to report back to Council in spring of 2026, including changes to the RR2B district schedule to permit a 6-story residential typology. While tonight's proposal is for a 5-story development as currently contemplated in the district schedules, the changes to the RR district schedules are the topic of a future council meeting for consideration. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application if in attendance?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And with respect to your time, we're happy to waive our presentation, but are available for any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any questions from council or team members? Sorry, are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Seeing no one in the queue. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium on the left side of the public gallery when your name is called. Phone-in speakers will be unmuted when your name is called. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. So our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Babak Shedhrudi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Is Babak Shedhrudi present?
Okay. Thank you, it's Babak Shedhrudi. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak today. My name is Babak Shedhrudi, and my family, we live in the area of 37 Granville for 20 years. We raised 2 wonderful children, both of them now doctors. I'm not here to speak. I'm not against the housing. I'm not against rentals. I'm not against the growth. But what I'm against is growth without proper planning. And I'm here to bring to your attention what we see in the area that probably overlooked as part of these plan. We lived in this area for 20 years. So I'm speaking against this project, and because I only have 5 minutes to discuss here, I'm trying to be concise. And there are 4 points that I want to raise here regarding my objection to this project. One is respect to the neighborhood. There is an educational institute that is an icon of Vancouver, is Vancouver College. Every day we see hundreds of parents and students, children walking in the area, and the traffic is during pickup and drop-off is horrendous. My wife sent email videos, pictures to your address that given to you. You may be having it on file. If you drive that area during the drop-off and pick up, you know the traffic. There are bikers there. Sometimes even for us getting out of our driveway is not easy. I have to ask my wife to stop the traffic in order for us to get out of it. So adding dense rental towers or large-scale multi-unit development as is proposed is only going to worsen the traffic congestion, safety risk. There are increased conflicts between vehicles and children. Compromises emergency access to the area is already crowded and reduces the livability of a school-centered neighborhood. As I say, anyone who drives or walks in the area during this time, they see it. And adding more traffic to the area is simply overwhelms the system that is already present. The other one beside the school that is in the neighborhood is the Van Dusen Garden that is treasured public asset to us. We love Van Dusen Garden, but we have to live with some of the shortfalls and negatives come from this place, which is hundreds of events that going on in Van Dusen Garden. Even I'm talking to you now, there is a filming going on for last week, and there's literally no parking. Traffic is chaos. Trucks are parked in that area, and this is not only one event. It happens throughout the year. There is a festival of light we all like, but we have to put up with it. They give us one free ticket, which is good. I appreciate. But it is not only that. It is just basically dealing with all the traffic. People parking at your driveway. You have to keep calling, and probably you have a record of it that my wife has been calling. We also pick up the garbage that people leave behind after all these events. There are wedding going on. There are car show going on. There's everything going on, which we are okay with it because it doesn't happen all the time. But once it's happened, it's not easy. It's chaos. And adding another numbers of whatever 200 numbers of rentals is not going to help. It's going to even make it worse for all of us to be in there. If you do that, then the higher parking overflow will happen all the surrounding street, greater foot traffic without adequate infrastructures.
And I'm sorry, we're at time. That's been 5 minutes.
Oh. Yeah, I just
Thank you.
2 seconds. I said,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what kind of we are.
I'm
trying
sorry,
to
we're
build something that-
we're over time.
All right.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Thank you. Great. Thank you very much for coming in. Speaker number 2, Alan Brookstone.
Mayor Sim, councillors, my name is Alan Brookstone, and I'm a resident of Shaughnessy Place, the townhouse complex located directly across the alley from the proposed development site. And I'd like to begin with why Vancouver matters to me personally. I arrived in Canada in 1987, and during that visit to Vancouver, I'll never forget driving up Granville Street, the houses, the greenery, the sense of space, the overall livability of the city, and I turned to my wife and I said, this is where I want to live. Nearly 4 decades later, that same livability is why we chose to make our home here and why I'm speaking tonight. I'm also speaking with the support of a significant number of residents of Shaughnessy Place who have signed a petition expressing serious concern and opposition to the development as currently proposed, because this is not a single-person objection. It's a shared community issue from those that are most directly affected. I want to be clear that we support housing and growth, but we oppose housing that comes at the expense of basic livability and fairness. We understand Vancouver's housing challenges, and we support thoughtful density. What we're asking for is a proposal that fits the site, respects adjacent homes, and doesn't impose a disproportionate harm on existing residents. The core problem is the height, massing, and proximity of a 5-story, 96-unit building placed directly across a narrow alley from existing townhouses, an alley which is not a transition zone, and it's a service lane, so the proposed scale would read as a looming wall, not as a compatible neighbor. The next issue is the unavoidable loss of privacy created by the upper floors looking directly into our backyards, our patios, and our living areas. This is not hypothetical. Given the height and distance, residents will lose meaningful privacy in their homes and outdoor spaces, and no amount of landscaping can truly fix a direct overlook situation of this scale. Equally important is the loss of sunlight and the real hit to day-to-day livability that comes with it. Many of the homes in Shaughnessy Place rely on afternoon and evening light, and the height and the bulk of this proposal will cast long shadows, especially in fall and winter, leading to darker interiors, reduced outdoor usability, and noticeable decline in comfort and livability. The proposal also raises broader concerns about neighborhood character and the direction of planning, because it sits along a key corridor that shapes how people experience Vancouver. Myself, a typical example of this. There's a growing public concern locally and provincially about repetitive, box-like, mid-rise buildings that prioritize unit count over design quality, transition, and human scale. And this was recently highlighted in a January the 8th, 2026 Vancouver Sun column by Douglas Todd, discussing the backlash to these style of apartment block style developments tied to mass upzoning debates. It's worth noting that it isn't just Vancouver that is part of the conversation. Internationally, New Zealand provides a clear example of a government stepping back from mandated density rules, moving to make its medium density residential standards optional for councils, and signaling changes to its national urban development direction after significant controversy about how intensification was being applied and its local impacts. The practical consequence for existing homeowners is that the combination of a loss of privacy, a loss of sunlight, reduced livability will predictably affect property value and enjoyment of homes. Residents purchased in Shaughnessy Place with a reasonable expectation that nearby redevelopment would include appropriate transition and migration, and the petition reflects a shared belief that this proposal places an unfair burden on immediate neighbors. I'm not here simply to say no, and our petition is asking for a constructive alternative that still allows housing while respecting the context. I respectfully ask Council to reject the application in its current form and direct a redesign more appropriate to the site, such as a 3-story form with increased setbacks from the alley, real privacy considerations, and reduced massing, so there's an actual transition to the adjacent townhomes. In closing, I ask Council to give serious weight to the petition from Shaughnessy Place residents, because we're people who live with direct consequences of this decision every day. The Vancouver I fell in love with in 1987 balanced growth with greenery, space, and livability, and I'm asking you to protect those same values now by denying this application as proposed and requiring a redesigned project that fits the neighborhood and treats existing residents fairly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Speaker number 3, Nola Kate Seymour.
Hi, my name is Nola Kate Seymour. I'm now retired, but I'm the past chair of the Vancouver City Planning Commission and the former president of the International Center for Sustainable Cities. Tonight, I want to speak to the implementation of the Vancouver 2050 Plan, the Climate Action Plan, and the Mass Timber Report as they affect this redevelopment at 37th and Granville. I also want to speak of it in the context of the Granville Gateway corridor, because you can't simply look at this as one site. Okay, I support TOD, the move to increase density around transit hubs. At the same time, I strongly resist something that in Vancouver 2050, it says to get a consistency of the aesthetics of 6-story apartments buildings, and it appears it would go from the Fraser River to the Granville Bridge. I think there's a need to soften this aesthetic. The psychological impact of blocks and blocks of glass and concrete buildings is very different than the impact of blocks of hedges and trees. As Dr. Brookston pointed out, the Granville Gateway's visual impact on visitors is the best advertisement we have for a livable, sustainable, and affordable city. I believe those cedar hedges are uniquely important to Vancouver's image as a livable city. We need to expand. You know, we've got that expression, view corridors. We need to expand the idea of view corridors. It's not just the mountains that we should look at or the ocean. It's looking down a green street that has, if you think of biophilia, it has a rewarding reaction. And if you look at any city in Vancouver, or in fact, I've looked at them internationally for years, our cedar hedges are in fact iconic. They're as much part of Vancouverism or Vancouver's identity as any of our things, setback buildings, or Okay. I support the move to increase the diversity of housing types, but I'm worried. We're putting all of the rental housing along a major road. That means renters are having more noise, more exhaust fumes, more pollution than are anybody else. And so if you want to rent and you only have the option of renting in these long linear concentrations, you don't have a diversity of housing and you're discriminating against renters. Okay, so those pictures illustrate some of what I'm talking about. The top picture is of the development between 45th and 47th. It's unfair because obviously these the development has not meant that you can't see the finished product. But what you can see is they've removed all the hedges and all the big trees. The one at the left is, my left, is pointing out this is the corner we're talking about, which has big trees and a really thriving cedar hedge. And the other is looking down Granville across the street from this development, and you can see all of the cedar hedges. Now, it's true, it's a wall of cedar hedges, but it's a pretty wall. It's not a glass and concrete wall. Okay. What I'm suggesting, it's not just not in my backyard, although this is in my backyard. It's can the developers and the council retain a buffer of greenery to help the transition to these bloody big concrete blocks? The apartment buildings, remember Pete Seeger? He used to sing little boxes, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same? Well, ours aren't boxes. Ours are huge buildings, and they all look just the same. So if you can't see them, or you can't see them as one block, it's not going to be a Stalin-esque fortress. It will be interspersed with hedges and trees. I have 2 minutes, that's enough.
Awesome.
But
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
actually, you can't. No,
I can't. Oh, all right.
no, I'm sorry.
Can somebody ask me a question?
They can, and we're well over time as
Okay.
well. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in. Okay. If there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. So Clerk, are there any additional speakers on the line?
No, no additional speakers.
Okay, great, thank you. So this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 10614445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to come in or to come forward or to call in. Thank you.
We're just checking with the team in the back. Oh. Yes, we have one speaker on the line with the last four digits, 3692.
Okay, great. Speaker, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hi, if I can please
Hello, can you
ask.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yeah.
great. If I can please ask you for your first and last name and whether or not you're a resident in Vancouver for the record, please.
Yes, I am. My name is Holly, and my last name is Safari. I live at the 1400 block on West 37th as well.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to also say I'm against this project going on for the same reasons that all the other speakers with that somebody else the other speakers were saying. We're so worried about the density that's coming into the neighborhood, and we're worried about the safety and also the parking and all the other. Can you hear me still?
We can hear you great. Please go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, basically the concerns that I don't know, like is there a parking mandate for these buildings? That was my question to the people who are proposing this project. Is there a parking mandate? Can anybody answer that for me, please?
Actually, we won't be able to answer questions on this matter.
Oh, you can. Okay, all right. So that was one of my big concerns that, like, what's going to happen to our block if there's 96 to whatever, if they're going to increase it to more than, I heard it was going to be about 200 units possibly built for this project. What are people going to do with their cars? I know you're trying to encourage people to take public transit because that's where you're planning these rental buildings, but I don't know how feasible that is. Most people in the city still have one, if not two cars per family. I mean, we just look around the block. Each household, even some of the houses that are right beside me, they'll all become rental. Each person who's renting has got like 4 to 6 cars. What is going to happen to our block? We basically feel like we are being driven out of our residences. We came to this neighborhood about 20 years ago, fell in love with the serenity, with the way the neighborhood was, nice place to live and raise a family. But it's changing so much and so fast. I mean, I feel like I don't think I can live here anymore. It's losing its integrity. Nobody seems to care anymore what the neighborhoods are turning into. And it's very sad. And that's basically my concern. What is going to happen to us living at single residences across the street from this big project? Are we all going to be driven out of our homes? And as the other gentleman said from Shaughnessy Place, with these projects going onwards, nobody's going to want to buy our places. So, I'm close to retirement, and what am I going to do? Like, basically, my house is my everything. If nobody's going to buy it, it's my retirement. It's my, it's just not going to be a desirable area to live in. And, rental buildings are great, but this is not the neighborhood for them. We still have single residents on the other side. Anyway, that's basically what I want to say. Completely opposed to this project unless there is some modifications that, as they say, smaller, lower, less floors, 3 less units, and a parking mandate to accommodate for the neighborhood. There's so much going on our street, as my husband Babak mentioned, the first speaker. With the school traffic, Van Dusen, and all the stuff that goes on 37. It's a bike route, and a couple of years ago, it was almost a big accident. It was a bike accident, and somebody almost died there, about 6 years ago, and it's even not that bad yet. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Hopefully some of the questions we have a chance to get answers from the people who are proposing this project, and that's it. I'm done. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Clerk, are there any more speakers?
No further speakers on the line.
Okay, so seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Clerk, has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
No additional correspondence has been received.
Great, thank you very much. Seeing that there are few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now closing the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? No? Okay. Do our team members have any closing comments?
Staff do not have any closing comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Does council have any final questions for our team members? Councillor Orr, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for everyone who spoke. Yeah, just regarding some of the comments that were made. Reading the public input, I didn't see anything about the alley, and I didn't see anything about parking in there, but I saw that there is, in response to traffic and safety concerns, engineering staff have reviewed and have included rezoning conditions to deliver improvements that will address safety for all road users, including a protected bike lane and upgraded street and intersection lighting. So that just addresses one of the comments, but could you address a little bit on the alley and like the service lane and a little bit on shadowing, knowing that this does fall in the SRP policy?
Thank you for your question, Councillor. I'm going to defer this to my colleague in engineering.
Hi, Councillor. Thanks for the question. My name is Dominic Lau. I'm a senior transportation engineer with the transportation development team in engineering. So there is a services agreement condition that this site is required to provide, as you mentioned, the upgraded bike lane, but also an upgraded lane pavement structure, which should improve the condition of the lane. Otherwise, we generally have no concerns with the lane servicing the development and future development.
And what about parking?
Yeah, so the site, we don't have any application statistics at this point, but the site will be required to meet the provisions of the parking bylaw, which includes things like visitor parking, accessible parking, and they may also choose to provide parking on site as well.
Great, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fry.
Apologies. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you answering the questions about the parking. And there was one comment that was brought up. Nola Kate mentioned the sort of green aspect to arriving or driving down Granville Street. And I do see that there's tree replacement in this report. Is that specifically contemplating that kind of green hedgerow feel along Granville Street? Is that part of this, do we imagine? I don't really see anything in the report.
Thank you for the question, Councillor. Scott Erdman, Senior Planner in Rezoning. For projects like SRP, we don't receive detailed architectural plans or landscape plans until the development permit stage. So at that time, we would expect to see details around both tree retention and also new tree planting and additional landscaping.
Okay, so there's no really sort of standing policy specifically around this green corridor idea, which is helpful to know. It's just an organic thing that's happened, I guess.
Vancouver does have its tree bylaw, which seeks to retain trees of a certain caliper size, and that'll be reviewed at the time of DP stage for any on-site trees.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking more of the hedge thing, but that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just following up on some of the previous questions, I know that at this stage, Council is approving sort of the form and if it's compliant with policy, and it does reference in the report in the body in the appendix that pursuant to section 1.8 that parking, loading, bicycle and passenger lane space quantities must be provided and maintained in accordance with the requirements of the Vancouver parking bylaw. Can you just sort of specifically articulate for us for 97 units what parking might be required in the bylaw?
Thank you for that question, Councillor. I'm going to defer this to my colleague in engineering.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor, for the questions. Dominic again, Senior Transportation Engineer. As I mentioned, we don't have complete statistics for what the site will propose. But generally, there are rates set out in the bylaw that kind of stipulate how many accessible parking, visible parking, and loading spaces they'll need to provide. But yeah, so can't completely answer your question at this time.
I understand you don't have specifics, but as you said, there's sort of ratio set out in the bylaw. So you can give us a context with respect to ratios, can you not?
Yeah, so generally 0.05 to 0.1 visitor vehicle parking spaces per unit, and then 0.037 accessible spaces per unit plus 1 for the first 7. And then loading spaces, Class A loading spaces, I don't fully recall off the top of my head, but they usually have to provide 1 up to 100 units. And then Class B loading spaces, which are the key band vehicles, are for 100 spaces or 100 units and more.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, seeing no one else in the queue, Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendations? Councillor Dominato, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Chill. Thank you. Council, is there any discussion? Councillor Orr.
Yeah, just sort of wanted to touch on the sort of iconic hedges thing, and I appreciate that you brought it up. It is an interesting thing, and I do remember as a young person coming to downtown, that was always an iconic thing. There's a book written, not on the hedges, but there's a chapter on the hedges on how they are iconic. But I mean, I do think that depending on what side of the hedge you're on, could be seen differently in terms of whether they are exclusionary or inclusionary, and whether or not we want to welcome people to this beautiful neighborhood and have people also enjoy it, and it can be done, you know, seamlessly. And I don't think 96 unit is going to destroy the character of the neighborhood. And we're in a housing crisis, and we need rental apartments all across the city. And I think this is, you know, it's 5 stories, and I think it's, you know, it'll be done tastefully. And I trust the next stage will, you know, that input will be taken into consideration. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, a reminder that any council member participating virtually whose video is disabled will be marked absent for the vote pursuant to section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. I'm now going to call the vote. Clerk, can you please take us to the voting panel? And council, can you please register your vote? All right, and that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you. That completes item number 1. Item number 2, CD-1 409 text amendment, 1109 through 1139 West Pender Street and 1122 through 1152 West Hastings Street, formerly 1128 West Hastings Street. Now, before we begin this agenda item, does anybody have a conflict of interest to disclose? Seeing no one's hands up, the clerk's now going to read the application and the summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Jim Ralph of Pinnacle International to amend CD-1 409 bylaw for the Marriott Pinnacle Hotel site located at 1109 to 1139 West Pender Street and 1122 to 1152 West Hastings Street, formerly 1128 West Hastings Street. An increase to the total maximum floor area from 7.92 FSR to 7.93 FSR to allow for an addition to the existing restaurant is proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. There has been no correspondence received since referral to public hearing. This represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Thank you. So now this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. We do have team members from planning, urban design, and sustainability here to present their presentation presentation. I do want to note that there are no registered speakers for this item, so council may waive the presentation unless members wish to see it. Okay, Councillor Meisner, second by Councillor Orr. Any discussion? Great. All those in favor say yay. All those opposed say nay. Great. The presentation, which I know would have been incredibly awesome, has been waived. Would the applicant like to present the application if in attendance?
Oh, hi, Mayor Sim. Jim Ralph here from Pinnacle. Nothing to present, but if you have any questions, shoot away.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Seeing no one in the queue, this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 pound before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we're now going to hear from the public. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Clerk, do we have any speakers on the line or in person to provide comments on this item?
There are no speakers on the line.
Okay. Thank you. If there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. Clerk, are there any additional speakers on the line?
No.
Okay, this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 pound before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we're now going to take another 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to call in or come forward to the podium. Okay. So clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not.
Okay. Seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Clerk, has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
No correspondence has been received.
Seeing that, thank you very much. Seeing that there were few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now closing the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments?
No closing comments.
Great. Thank you very much. Do our team members have any closing comments?
Staff has no comments. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Does council have any final questions for our team members? Councillor Montague, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Mary. Just noting on the X panel, it shows the last address application. The Granville Street doesn't have the this item on the X panel. Don't know if that's an issue for the voting.
Just changed. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councillor. In one moment. So Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
No.
Thank you. So council will now make its decision on the application, and we do have a mover or the mover of the recommendations in Councillor Kirby-Young. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Joe. Council members, is there any discussion? Okay. A reminder once again that any council member participating virtually whose video is disabled will be marked absent for the vote pursuant to section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. I'm now going to call the vote. If we can please go to the voting screen, and council, if you can register your vote, please, that would be great. Great, and that passes unanimously, and that completes item number 2. Thank you very much for all your hard work on it. Okay. Item number 3, CD-1 rezoning, 1167 through 1193 Granville Street. Before we begin this agenda item, if anyone believes they have a conflict of interest, now is the time to disclose it. Would anybody like to declare a conflict? Seeing no hands up, the clerk's now going to read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Musin Cattell McKay MCM Partnership to rezone 1167 to 1193 Granville Street from DD Downtown District to CD-1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of a 33-story hotel building containing 464 hotel units, a floor space ratio FRS of 20.7 and a height of 110.0 meters, 360 feet are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation and the yellow memo dated December 17th, 2025, entitled CD-1 Rezoning, 1167 to 1193 Granville Street, amendments to modify rezoning conditions. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing. 9 pieces of correspondence in support, 12 pieces of correspondence in oppose, and 1 piece of correspondence dealing with other aspects of the application. This represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. We do have team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Great. Good evening, Mayor and Council, and members of the public. My name is Ricardo Peggi. I'm the planner assigned to the rezoning application at 1167 to 1193 Granville Street. Staff would like to note there is a yellow memo attached to this report, and action is required by Council on the memo, which recommends changes to conditions in Appendix B of the report. The changes are to remove transportation demand management requirements and to amend the public art cash in lieu of art amount. The subject site is located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Granville Street and Davie Street. The site is made up of 6 individual lots, all zoned downtown district and currently developed with commercial uses fronting on Granville Street. The site backs onto laneway that is accessed off of Davie Street. The site is located in the Granville Entertainment District, and surrounding uses include a mix of hotels, commercial, and cultural uses. Northwest of the site across the laneway is a 28-story strata residential tower constructed in 1994. The site is eligible for rezoning under the downtown rezoning policy and falls within the Granville Entertainment District, marked by the Area K. This sub-area supports the development of non-residential uses, such as hotels. The maximum height is limited by the applicable public view cone, and the overall density is determined by urban design performance. The rezoning was also reviewed against the Granville Street Plan and the Hotel Development Policy, both of which support a hotel development in this location. So this proposal is to rezone the site to a comprehensive development district to enable the development of a 33-story hotel with a maximum height of 110 meters and a density of 20.7 FSR. The hotel will contain 464 rooms, along with amenities such as a ground floor lounge area, restaurant, and meeting rooms. Following submission of the rezoning application, a virtual open house was held from November 22nd to December 5th of 2023, and 71 pieces of correspondence have been received. Public feedback in support of the rezoning found that the development would help to revitalize and enhance the Granville Street Entertainment District and help address the shortage of hotels in Vancouver more broadly. Some also noted the benefit of locating the proposal in proximity to downtown amenities and transit. Some concerns were also expressed. The first was related to the height of the building in the current context of Granville Street, and that the tower form would cause shadowing on the public realm. Staff can confirm that the proposed height and massing are consistent with applicable policies. Some commenters preferred to see the site developed with housing. Staff point to land use policies which support the development of commercial uses such as hotels. And further, the hotel development policy identifies a significant need and demand for hotels in Vancouver. Lastly, there are concerns that the development will negatively impact congestion on Davie Street and affect transit pickup and drop-off points. Engineering staff reviewed the proposal and do not anticipate significant impacts to the street network. The site is required to provide vehicle and bike parking and passenger loading per the parking bylaw. And further, the site's location provides excellent access to transit, walking, and cycling. The public benefits from this application consist of a cash CAC based on the commercial linkage fee, DCLs, and a public art contribution with a total value of $17.7 million. In summary, staff recommends approval of this application subject to the conditions outlined in Appendix B, as it is supported by the downtown rezoning policy, Granville Street Plan, and hotel development policy. This concludes my presentation. Both staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions.
Thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Mark Whitehead, and I am a partner at the Musson-Katelmaki Partnership, architects for 1167 to 1193 Granville Street. And I'm speaking to you on behalf of the applicant team, including D Corp, who is the long-term owner of the property at Granville and Davie Streets. We would like to thank city staff for their excellent work on this rezoning application. We have reviewed and accept all the rezoning conditions in this report. We would also like to thank City Council for your exceptional leadership in the revitalization of Granville Street, including your recent approval of the Granville Street Planning and Hotel Development Policy. They have made this significant hotel proposal possible. E Corp shares your vision for a vibrant, exciting, thriving Granville Street that is attractive and safe for visitors, businesses, and residences alike. The proposal before you meets all of the recently approved policies and plans for Granville Street. The proposal also benefits from the policy incentives that this council has introduced to support hotel development in Vancouver, including built form policies that allow for larger hotel floor plates that make hotel development viable. E Corp would also like to graciously thank the City Council for your continued leadership and collaboration with local businesses, Destination Vancouver, the VPD, the province, to resolve street disorder and revitalize Granville Street as a vibrant, exciting, and welcoming heart of downtown Vancouver. Thank you once again to Mayor, Council, and City staff for your support. I'm here with several members of the applicant team, should you have any further questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Councillor Kirby-Young.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I'm going to direct my first questions to the applicant. And as you referenced, council has made it a priority to try to address the shortage of hotel rooms in the city, which was, I think, quantified by Destination Vancouver studies at about 10,000 rooms. This is 464. You referenced some of the changes to the Granville Street plan and the hotel policy. Can you give us sort of more detail on any specific aspects of that policy, whether it's, I know this one has a larger floor plate, for example.
Larger floor plate is a major one.
The commercial linkage fee. I'm just wondering, like, was it a combination of factors? Are there a couple of factors that are more significant? What sort of came together to make a project viable to deliver a standalone hotel?
As an architect, the height and the massing and the floor plate were the major factors. I confess, the linkage fees and stuff, I don't think I could specifically speak to.
Okay. And with respects to the floor plate, because I know this has has banquet or meeting facilities. Is that correct? Is that
for sure?
Is that,
We have a
is that
three-story
where it makes
podium.
a difference? Is it the number of rooms? I'm just
That.
looking for a little bit more color on that.
Sure. The podium is 3 floors. The base being the reception area with bar lounge area, and also loading and drop off. Next floor up is restaurant and meeting spaces, and then there's a 3rd floor. There's all meeting spaces with back of house sprinkled in at the back northwest corner of those, followed by a spa floor. We have believe it's 8 floors of straightforward hotel, then 20 floors of long-term stay, surmounted by again, an amenity space at the top of the building.
Okay, I understand. I appreciate that in terms of sort of the vision, the design. I don't know if there's anybody else on the team that wants to speak to some of the policy mechanics around the commercial linkage. I know there's a conversation in council previously about excluding back of house space, that intersection. So I'm looking to sort of get feedback as some of the first projects we've had come forward in terms of how these policy levers or changes are actually factoring into the viability of a project.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kevin McNaney, City Planning Consultant on this project. The policies definitely helped, as Mark mentioned, in terms of height and density. In terms of the linkage fee, excluding things like meeting space, convention space, back of house, sales offices, help to make the pro forma more whole, since they don't tend to generate revenue. So that was a big factor, as well as the consideration of the site. And also they encouraged additional meeting space, which is something Destination Vancouver and staff are looking for. So by reducing those fees, increasing the height, allowing larger floor plates, they all came together to make this project viable, thanks to council's hotel policy.
Okay, and by way of follow-up, having that, I don't know, sort of, we'll hear probably later from some other speakers, but having hotels that also have meeting space also impacts the ability for what kind of events we can bid on and what kind of travelers can come to Vancouver, does it not? So conferences, business meetings, that kind of thing, as opposed to if it's not viable to include the space, then you have just a rooms hotel, and that eliminates some of those opportunities?
Absolutely. This space would be able to host some of the smaller events that wouldn't necessarily make use of the convention center, or secondary events for large conventions that come to Vancouver, like Destination Vancouver will speak to, and to have smaller association-based events at this hotel. So it creates an opportunity for a different type of space that fills out Vancouver's hotel spectrum.
Okay, and then a follow-up question in terms of, is this intended to be a branded flagged hotel that would be operated by a known brand?
Yes, it is. And we're just working on that today, these
Okay,
days.
and not able to share at this point?
No, we're still working on all that.
Okay, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Meisner.
Yeah, thanks. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the food and beverage and the restaurant, bar, and stuff on the lower level. Just wondering what sort of details you can share around those spaces, because obviously it's on Granville Street. I imagine you would want to attract people that are not necessarily staying at the hotel that may just be out on Granville Street. So I'm wondering if you could chat about that.
For sure. A big part of the Granville plan is to intensify those first few stories of Granville Street and keep them active. So by design, the architect had lots of glazing, transparency, visual connection to the street for the first definitely 3 or 4 levels, including the meeting spaces. So to really create a vibrant interface with the street. The street wall of the restaurant is intended to open in the future. That's our vision, to allow sort of inside-outside interaction and public realm. So we really see it as a way to hold that corner between Davie and Granville, that key corner as the Davie Village comes into the Granville Entertainment District, and bring the energy around to revitalize the street.
That's great. So the restaurant's on the ground floor, is that right?
It is.
Okay, I like the idea of the window opening. How about the lane treatment in terms of like pick up and drop off? What are you planning there?
It is a critical piece of Granville Street. From the Granville plan, it's intended to be pedestrians focused, as you know. So the loading into the hotel for guests and all their luggage is from the lane. The architect and landscape architect have made an effort to beautify the lane, to add some greenery, to add some interesting lighting, to add some a sense of arrival to the space, which will really help that lane, including for adjacent residents.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot right now, so that's good news.
It'll improve greatly.
Great. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor Orr.
Yeah, thanks. Just sort of following up a little bit on the restaurant sort of thing. I'll leave it to maybe Councillor Fry if he wishes to sort of wax reminiscingly about Suhang Village and cold tea and the dumpling window on Davie Street, which was part of my growing up here for sure. But yeah, it was exciting that it'll activate Granville. But just a little bit more on the architecture of that. It's quite an Art Deco sort of piece. I'm just looking over the renderings. It looks like you're trying to sort of include some of that. Can you speak to just how you're sort of preserving that heritage or acknowledging it? Or
Well, many of the buildings, including the St. Helens Hotel immediately next door, are based on the Edwardian commercial style, which you'll find up and down Granville Street. So a definite base shaft cap aspect to it that you'll see in the podium development. That the cornice at the base, in essence, becomes the canopy. There's another cornice at the top that surmounts the top level of meeting space. And I'll just add to what Kevin had said. We're looking for actually active sliders all the way up the building in the podium, so you could be in a conference room at the 3rd floor and still engage with, or at least see people, and people see you from the street.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks. And then just you mentioned the longer term stays. Kind of a long shot here, but is there any sort of consideration given to hotel workers that often have to travel long distances from the suburbs, and any sort of housing accommodations for them at all? Has that been talked about?
No housing accommodations. That, I guess, could change with an operator, but we don't necessarily anticipate it. I mean, they do have their change facilities, lounge, their own dining area. Fairly well appointed with light from the lane, given the depth of the site. There's easy access to windows.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's all my questions for the applicant. And then just there is a question for staff just there on there is tenants, but they don't qualify for TRPP. Just can you go over that a little bit? It says there's 4 units of primary rental, but no eligible tenants. Just if you could.
Yes, through. That's correct. There aren't any eligible tenants, but there are 4 rental units on site. We do have a housing staff here that can also speak to that.
Hi, Yvonne He, housing planner. There are 4 units on this site,
but at the time of the rezoning application, none of the people who were residing there met the qualifications to be eligible for the TRP.
Okay. Thanks. That's all my questions.
Thank you very much. Councillor Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So I think it's much needed the hotel project in downtown. So my question to staff is about tower separation. So it looks like the separation for the northwest building is okay, but for the northeast, it seems like the setback is much less compared to the required setback the threshold. So what will be the challenge for the future development on the northeast?
Thank you for the question. I'm Amit Shayan, development planner for this project. Staff typically reviewed the old tower separation in a full block. As you mentioned, the proposed separation from the northeast property is less than what is typically required, but the thing is, we are requesting the required setback from the future development in this block, which is a non-residential in the future. So based on the new requirement, 50 feet separation is sufficient. So we are looking to have this required setback overall between this building and the future development. As we assessed, the adjacent lot have the room to adjust the shortage of this separation and have this extra 6 feet for their lot without any compromising of their development.
They have to set back even more to accommodate this 60 feet separation, right?
Yes, they have.
Would that pose any challenge for the future development on the other land?
No, because we don't know exactly the lot consolidation for the future development. So we are reviewing for that one, and we are considering that one to make sure that we have the separation, the required separation from the existing, from this development and the future development of the adjacent side.
Okay, so normally two development, they will just set back half in order to maintain that. Is that a guideline or is that a requirement we have to do?
This is a recommendation, this is a guideline, this is not a policy requirement. The requirement is separation.
Okay.
But then if it is hotel to hotel, it is 50 feet. If it is hotel to residential, it is 60 feet. So the separation is a requirement. But we can adjust this separation between two lots to make sure that we don't compromise the development for each of them.
Okay.
Sometimes we cannot split it equally.
Okay, and because of it's actually not very fair for another future development, as we acknowledge, but will this pose any legal challenge for the city to make sure that the other lot cannot be developed because of the setback issue?
We definitely, that's part of our review. That's very important for us to make sure there is no challenges for the future development on the adjacent sites.
Okay.
And we want to make sure there wouldn't be any legal challenges for us. But as I mentioned, it hasn't been specified the number of lots that will be consolidated for the future development. That's a part of our consideration to make sure that this one has been considered to have a viable development at the adjacent site.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all my questions. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Maloney.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing more about from the applicant about the percentage of long-term stay rooms. I'm interested. It says 40% of the proposed hotel rooms are for short-term stays, with the remainder for long-term stays. And I've relocated internationally with my family a number of times and stayed in accommodation, long-term accommodation like this. So I'm quite interested in hearing what influenced that percentage.
Sure, Councillor. Yes, there's definitely a demand for long-term stay accommodation as well. It's effectively sometimes slightly larger suites with a small cooking space, a small fridge, that type of thing, less housekeeping, etc. But it plays a critical role in relocation for businesses in Vancouver when their employees are coming to town. A critical role for people who are studying here, maybe for a month or two in training for somewhere to stay and not a night-to-night hotel to be a little more settled. And for film and tech, it also has a huge role. So there's a market out there for long-term stay. It's also a market for things like people who are renovating. It takes pressure off rental stock, and they can move out for a month or two, renovate their home in Vancouver and go back in. So that's the type of role we see that space is playing in the hotel economy.
And you feel as though there's enough call for that, for it to be the 60% of the rooms?
Yeah, and we intend that to be flexible based on market demand. There will be 2 brands, but we can shift demand, for example, during the summer when there may be more demand for single night accommodation type space.
So I suppose there's nothing to stop those rooms being used for short-term
No,
accommodation?
nothing at all, Council.
Thanks, that's very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Here we go. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We'll now hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium on the left side of the public gallery when your name is called. Phone-in speakers will be unmuted when your name is called. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. So our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Jane Talbot.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jane Talbot. I'm the President and CEO of the Downtown Vancouver Business Improvement Association, less formally referred to as Downtown Van. I'm calling in this evening to express our support for the proposed hotel development at 1167 to 1193 Granville Street. Revitalization of the Granville Entertainment District is an urgent priority for Downtown Van and our members. Several blocks of the street experience significantly lower daytime pedestrian activity than surrounding areas, and it creates real challenges for streetfront businesses and for the overall safety and vitality of the district. A major hotel at this location would be a meaningful step towards addressing that challenge. Hotels are uniquely positioned to activate streets and support local services and cultural venues. This project would be a critical and so important catalyst in reestablishing Granville as a dynamic and welcoming entertainment district. It would bring consistent foot traffic, would support surrounding businesses, and it would contribute to a stronger sense of activity and safety throughout the day and night. From a broader city perspective, this proposal also helps fill a gap in Vancouver's hospitality infrastructure. As a global destination, demand for hotel rooms continues to exceed supply, particularly during peak seasons. We believe this application aligns with the intent of the Granville Plan and that it is overall positive for the City of Vancouver and certainly for downtown, and we respectfully urge Council to support this rezoning. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Speaker number 2 is Marcus Beaulieu. Did I pronounce your name properly? Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marcus Beaulieu. I am speaking here on behalf of Unite Here Local 40, Vancouver's hospitality union, to oppose this rezoning because it represents a clear choice: hotels over homes. This proposal asks Council to allow a 33-story tower, not for housing, but for a 464-room hotel. That is an enormous public concession of land value in the middle of a housing crisis, and it delivers, once again, 0 homes. A supposed shortage of hotels is not a crisis. The real crisis is working families and young people being driven away from the city because housing costs are out of reach. Has the city given any thought to where the workforce for this proposed hotel will actually live? Vancouver is short on affordable housing. Workers are being pushed out because they cannot afford to live anywhere near they work. This project does not address affordability. It does not create secure rental housing. It does nothing to support families, seniors, or low-income workers who want to build a life in this city. Once the site is locked into hotel use, it has lost housing for decades. If the city is willing to approve a 33-story tower here, then it should demand affordable homes and below-market rentals, not more hotel rooms. At a time when developers have contributed to a glut of residential stratas and commercial office space in the city, they are now turning to hotel use because they view it as a more financial viability venture. And the city is rewarding them for it. The developer behind this proposal, D Corp, will benefit from the city's giveaway to hotel developers, which reduces the community amenity contributions they're required to pay to the city. In simple terms, that means more money in the developer's pocket and fewer public benefits for Vancouver residents. I must ask, why does D Corp need a handout from the city? City staff should disclose the value of the break that D Corp will receive from the reduced CAC so that the public knows the dollar amount lost to the public in public benefits. The proposed development, as mentioned, will not be replacing the residential units lost in the proposal. Furthermore, on D Corp, in the summer of 2023, D Corp tried to evict a long-term tenant from another residential building they owned, while its vacant units in the same building were listed on Airbnb for $5,000 a month. D Corp also made headlines for devising a way to shelter an ultra-luxury residential building for billionaires from having to pay the foreign buyer's property transfer tax or the empty homes tax. Are these the type of investors we want in our city in the middle of a housing crisis? City policy threatens to saturate the city with too many hotels built by wealthy developers. Meanwhile, workers are priced out of Vancouver because they can't afford to live here. We are asking Council to reject this rezoning as proposed and require affordable housing on this site. The City of Vancouver should prioritize building affordable homes and other policies that improve affordability over the needs of wealthy real estate investors and their real estate plays. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Speaker number 3 is Gwendol Castellan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Gwendol Castellan. I'm the Manager of Sustainable Destination Development, and I'm speaking on behalf of Destination Vancouver to express our support for the rezoning application of this hotel at 1167 to 1193 Granville Street. With its 464 room hotel. As you're well aware, for several years, Destination Vancouver has identified a hotel room shortfall that limits the city's ability to accommodate future visitor demand and sustain a healthy downtown economy. Our economic analysis from the hotel supply and projected demand in Metro Vancouver from 2023 to 2050, along with the work we've done more recently, which is looks into hotel community impact assessment that was done with the Hotel Development Task Force in April of 2025, shows that Vancouver continues to have this shortfall of what we project to be 10,000 rooms in Vancouver by 2050. And with that, the hotel supply, if it stays roughly at current level, demand is projected to exceed available rooms as early as the summer of 2026 in the city of Vancouver, and by 2040 in every month of the year across Metro Vancouver. The cumulative economic impacts are projected to be significant. Between 2022 and 2050, that would amount to $30.6 billion in foregone output, $16.6 billion in foregone GDP, and over 160,000 full-time equivalent jobs, and $7.5 billion in foregone tax revenue for all 3 levels of government. In this context, this 464-room hotel is not just another development. It is the type of project your updated hotel development policy and the Granville Street Plan are intended to enable in the downtown core. Council has recognized hotels as important infrastructure for tourism, meetings and conventions, and downtown activity, and has adjusted the policy to better support new hotel capacity in central areas. The Granville Street Plan sets a 20-year vision to revitalize Granville Street as a safer, more animated destination with a mix of entertainment, hospitality, and cultural uses. A full-service hotel such as this one at the south end of Granville, close to the entertainment district, Yaletown, Davie Village, and within walking and rapid transit distances of the Vancouver Convention Centre and the stadium, offers a practical example of that vision in action. As a hotel community impact assessment highlights, hotels provide more than visitor accommodation. They support local employment, nearby small businesses and restaurants, contribute to street activity throughout the day and evening, and generate municipal tax revenue that helps fund services residents rely on, all within a built form that fits a mixed-use downtown setting like Granville and Davie. Destination Vancouver views this rezoning as aligned with Council's existing policy direction, the Granville Street Plan, the updated hotel development policy, and broader economic development and tourism objectives. Approving this application will help add needed hotel capacity in an appropriate location and support the long-term goals the city has for Granville Street and downtown Vancouver. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Speaker number 4, Fashid Rafeli. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Close enough. Thank you so much. Farshid Rafi. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Farshid Rafi from Unison Architecture. I'm a resident of Vancouver, and our office is in close proximity to the subject development. And we are practicing there for over 10 years. So I had the opportunity of seeing Granville Entertainment District in its good days and current situation, current issues. I'm here to speak in support of development at corner of Granville and Davie Street, hotel with 400 plus rooms. A vibrant city needs different hotel spaces for different travelers. Currently, our city inventory for hotel rooms is equal to inventory in 2002. Shortage of rooms is a crisis for our city. When we travel to other cities, we see variety of hotel rooms and hotel typologies. And currently, we have foregone revenue for our city due to shortage of hotel rooms. I'd like to thank City Council and City staff for their tremendous work regarding the Granville Entertainment District, new hotel policy, hotel task force, and CAC exclusions regarding hotel spaces, such as meeting space, back of the house, and amenity exclusions from CAC. This will help big time with the hotel development in our city. Hotels need large capital investment, and these incentives will help bring more hotels to our city. This site is accessible by SkyTrain and public transportation. As such, the staff that are going to work here can access the site easily from any other place in the city or neighboring cities. This project will generate tax benefit to our city as well as creating sustainable jobs for our residents. Currently, we have foregone revenue, as I mentioned, due to shortage of rooms in our city, and we need to address that. So again, I'm here to support that, and thanks to City Council and staff for their great work. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. If there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. So Clerk, are there any additional speakers online?
There are no speakers on the line.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we are now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to call in or to come forward to the podium. you very much. So Clerk, do we have any additional comments, speakers in the chamber or online?
Just one moment. We do have an unknown caller on the line. Just give me one moment.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, if we can please get your full name, and if you're a resident of Vancouver, that'd be great.
Of course, my name is Emily Fatahzadeh, and I am the resident of 1188 House Street, opposite this hotel building that is proposed for the 33-story hotel development. Okay.
Please go ahead.
I'm a council member of 1188 House Street, and we are opposing building this 33-story hotel because they never realized that there is a high-rise beside it, which is only around 23 floors. And building this hotel is giving a shadowing the building, and we are losing the light. So then living here doesn't make any more sense, because that is the only way we have the sunlight entering our building. And I don't see any alignment of building such a hotel on Granville, because already we have 3 hotels. Just in every block we have one. The western one would be the one. And if we just go and check them, there is no enough tourists, they can accommodate it. So adding that 33 high-rise hotel is way higher than what is asked for that street, which is full of pubs and the clubs and restaurants. So having this one is something abnormal. Other than that, adding the traffic and taking this opportunity of this driving easily on Davie, which is already congested. So, I see that there's a strain on local infrastructure and public realm. It impacts the neighborhood character and livability, because this Davie Street and Granville Street is the place that the people would like to walk and enjoy, and having the high-rise is totally changing the view and also the accommodation that the people are looking. They're not looking for a high-rise and having the first 3 floors having the restaurants. So they are looking for just low-rises. And this is not going to be like helping the residents to have the better housing. And if we really would like to develop a better area for living on Granville Street, we need to look at the part that we have many homeless people living there. So how, as a tourist, you can get out of the hotel and seeing the homeless in front of the hotel and smelling the urination of the homeless without having even the cleaning or washing the streets. So there's a big conflict. I don't understand that how a hotel can be just popping up in a congested area which is already has traffic, and how it's just impacting the property values of us that we invested having this place and having a little bit of the distant view. So everything is going to take in. If you even look at the notice of public hearing that is posted to everybody's email box, you see that how is doubling this or high rise, and how is taking the light away. So I don't know how the city can allow such a thing that happening. What is the marketability of the hotel? So how many hotels that we have checked and seeing that they are just getting broke because they don't have enough tourists. So I don't see the value for the urban side. And for this reason, on behalf of the residents of 1188 House Street, as a council member, I am opposing building the hotel 33 floors on downtown area.
Great, thank you very much. So Clerk, do we have any additional speakers online or in the chamber?
There's no further speakers on the line.
Okay, so seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
2 pieces of correspondence have been received and they've been circulated.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, do any council members need a short recess to review additional comments? Seeing no one's hands up, I'm now closing the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? Nope, thank you very much. Do our team members have any closing comments?
Yes, thank you. Just a couple closing comments. One, I just wanted to respond to the public concern about residential uses, and I just wanted to reiterate that residential uses are not envisioned in this portion of Granville Street. It is envisioned for commercial uses such as hotels. And the second is to remind council about the yellow memo, which proposes some changes to the report and requires action from council. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Does council have any final questions for our team members? Councillor Kirby-Young.
I don't have questions, but I am prepared to move the recommendations, but I can hold on that if Councillor Orr has questions.
Great, thank you, Council.
Okay, I'll move the recommendation of the yellow memo.
Okay, great. Seconded by, I think, Councillor Dominato beat you to the punch. Great.
And I'll speak. Can I speak to that now, Mayor?
Basically, hold on a sec. Do we have any final questions for staff? Okay, so Councillor Kirby-Young.
Thanks. Can we start?
Yeah, can we restart the clock, please?
Great. Okay. Thanks very much. I appreciate the presentation tonight and all the work that's been done by the applicant. This is my second term on council, and it's not a surprise to people that I've been advocating to advance and modernize our hotel policy in the city. I previously worked in the hotel sector, and I was also the tourism sector, and was very familiar with the shortage of hotel rooms. We heard from Destination Vancouver that they did do a couple of studies that quantified that we have a shortage of about 10,000 hotel rooms, and that demand is expected to exceed supply actually by next summer in 2026. We do have a thriving hotel industry, but we are limited with respects to future opportunity and the types of events that we can bring here. To see the hotel policy changes and the Granville entertainment policy changes intersecting and resulting in what I think is a very exciting new project at the corner of Granville and Davie, right in the heart of the entertainment district, that will bring 464 needed new rooms that can, as we heard, flex based on the demand, and will also contribute to fulfilling the vision of the Granville entertainment district, revitalizing that area. I think is incredibly exciting. It is it's a good looking project. To the comments that were raised, and I do feel compelled to respond to them, when one of the speakers said that we should be focusing on affordable housing, we should absolutely, and this council is, and we have delivered an unprecedented amount of rental housing, including inclusionary requirements and below market rentals. But that is not what is envisioned for the GED. The GED in this area is specifically looking to revitalize this storied entertainment district and to bring it back to an iconic, exciting place that people want to visit. And this is where council determined to prioritize projects like hotels to achieve exactly that. People do need homes to live in, but they also need a thriving economy, which creates jobs, which enables them to sustain and support themselves. We have an unprecedented opportunity, I think, to realize one of the first projects here, that's actually come across in terms of an approval in the GED. And I am confident that we're going to see others follow. Building hotels, I always say, is quite a tricky business economically. It's very similar to how it's more difficult in the housing sector to build rental housing compared to strata. And building hotels is also more difficult than it is to build typically in the past, notwithstanding our current economic challenges, but it's always been easier to build something like a straight up commercial building or an office. Hotels are a bit of a unique and a different animal, and that has required some calibration around policies. So I like this project a lot. I think it's an exciting one to come into the neighborhood. It's going to address the shortage. I'm looking forward to finding out what the brand is. It is going to create great additional jobs in the sector. And I think all around the fact that care has been in consideration has been taken with respects to the design and how that interfaces with sort of a pivotal corner, not just the GED, but Davie is a key street in our city, is an exciting opportunity. So I'm grateful to staff for the previous policy work and bringing this forward, and I'm appreciative of the applicant, and I hope that this is one of a number of hotel projects that I think are coming into the pipeline now, because council has been supportive of these changes that we will be able to approve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Meisner.
Yeah, thanks. I'd just echo a lot of what my colleague, Councillor Kirby-Young, said. This is a really pivotal project for Granville Street and the revitalization of the street that, council has been working really hard to advance. So I'm really excited to see this hotel project at Granville and Davie. And I certainly will be very strongly supporting it tonight, and I hope that my colleagues do the same. This is going to make a big dent in our hotel room shortage, which is currently about 10,000 rooms. And as outlined earlier, I believe could be up to 50,000 rooms or something in 30 years from now if we stayed at current levels. So this is going to also bring new dining and restaurant options and entertainment options, conference space. And as mentioned, it really is a crossroads of many really important neighborhoods downtown. So not just the Granville Entertainment District, but also Yaletown and the Davie Village. So I think it's a very well designed and attractive building, and I'm really excited to see it move forward. So just once again, really excited to support this and know that it will help really kickstart the revitalization of Granville Street, particularly in its southern end near Davie. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Orr.
Yeah, thanks. As I sort of alluded to earlier, I remember going to the old Suhang Village and getting cold tea after hours. It was I know there's a restaurant that named itself after that. So it's an interesting development for sure. And I do want to echo those concerns raised by the speaker around affordable housing. And I did bring up the fact that hotel workers are often displaced out to the suburbs, and they often are working late hours, and I totally understand that. At the same time, I understand public hearings are not really the venue to change that policy. It's good to hear for sure, and I take that on board absolutely, and I'll take that to heart. But public hearings are we have to look at the policy and at hand, and I have to as my quasi judicial sort of function, I have to look at if it meets the merits of the proposal and the policy that's in place. So that's how I'll be viewing my decision around that. But I totally understand. I totally accept the comments, and hopefully the new operator will also understand that workers are what make the hotels go around, and hopefully we can the operator will maybe be listening even and take that to heart as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Fry.
Apologies, I unmute there. Happy to support this, and it's actually I just want to comment on what an attractive design this hotel is, and the ground level treatment especially. I was really quite captivated by and appreciate the additional architectural report, the renderings that were included, and the context statements around Granville Street and Granville and Davie. And yes, as Councillor Orr alluded, I certainly have many memories of Suihang Village. Also, foggy memories from Suihang Village from back in the day, but that is another anecdote. I do want to just quickly comment on the comments from the Unite Here speaker about concerns around housing and in the context of a housing crisis. I mean, I do want to reflect that hotel use is a critical need, and as we're kind of leading into this FIFA event, that we know we have a serious hotel shortage, and one of the things that we grapple with as a city as well is sort of the conversion of long-term residential units into short-term residential units, specifically Airbnb type accommodations, because of that shortage of hotel rooms. And so I do want to name that it does have that lens. And it was actually in last term, we had quite a vigorous debate around the idea of actually even adding residential at all at this end of Granville Street, because we do recognize that Granville Street is a different, not necessarily residential street, and that it is that long-term residential units on a street like Granville may or may not be incompatible with the idea of Granville Street as an entertainment district and as that kind of high street that would have a lot more noise and attendant kind of nuisance for long-term residents. So I just think that that's an important context to add to this, that this isn't really a residential spot per se, that it is quite appropriate as a hotel, and that as part of a balanced kind of offering as a city, we do need to have these hotel spaces. My only lament is that we're not going to deliver this hotel fast enough to really make a dent in what we know will be a room shortage coming into FIFA. So, but great looking project, and thank you for the presentation.
Great. Thank you very much, Councillor Clausen.
Thanks, Mayor. I won't add too much more. I just felt compelled as well to comment on what I think is an excellent design and really the convergence of policy and direction that has in many ways stemmed from this term of council around policies around Granville Entertainment District. I'm thinking, of course, of the new active transportation developments on the Granville Bridge. The neighborhood feels like it's really at a potential tipping point for a revitalization, and having a building like this, a hotel that will bring in guests from around the world, its closeness to Davie Village and Yaletown, and the entertainment district. Councillor Meisner pointed that out. I think it's just very heartening, and I am going to be very pleased to support this application, and hope it's able to move forward. And like Councillor Fry, I wish it could happen sooner, but I recognize these things are going to take a few years for it to happen. But I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to our city and to our downtown. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
Just one moment, we're checking. No, we have not.
Great, thank you. I will remind council that we need to move the recommendation for item number 3 together with a yellow memo dated December the 17th, 2025, entitled CD-1 rezoning 1167 through 1193 Granville Street, amendments to modify rezoning conditions. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover of the recommendations and the yellow memo? Yellow memo. Oh, you did move that earlier. Okay, a second. Sorry, just following the script. I always get in trouble when I don't follow the script, but this time. Okay, council, is there any discussion? No, already done that as well. Okay, so I'm just, sorry. That might have been copied and pasted. Okay, I'm just going to call the vote. There you go. Sorry about that. So if we can please go to the voting panel. And that passes unanimously. So congratulations, and team, thank you very much for all the hard work you've done. And it's pretty exciting to see more hotel rooms being built in the city. That completes item number 3. Okay, moving on. Item number 4, CD-1 rezoning 900 through 990 West 12th Avenue. Before we begin, does anybody wish to declare a conflict of interest? Seeing no one declaring, the clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Musin Cattell McKay, MCM, Partnership to rezone 900-990 West 12th Avenue from RM-3 Residential District and CD-1295 Comprehensive Development District to CD1-1 Comprehensive Development District to permit a phase mixed-use development with 2 buildings of 26 stories and 28 stories with clinical, diagnostic, and medical support space, 280 seniors long-term care beds, a 25-space childcare and commercial space on the ground floor. A floor space ratio, FSR, of 14.20 and a height of 109.0 meters, 358 feet are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation and the yellow memo dated January 6, 2026, entitled CD-1 Rezoning 900 to 990 West 12th Avenue Amendments to modify rezoning conditions. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing. One piece of correspondence in support and one piece of correspondence in opposition. This represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll-free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. So we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
I'm just waiting to see it. I need to wait for it to be on screen. Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Helen Chan. I'm the rezoning planner for this application, which is located at 900 to 990 West 12th Avenue. Staff would like to note there is a yellow memo attached to this report. Action is required by Council on the memo, which recommends changes to Appendix B of the report. These changes are to remove transportation demand management requirements, to amend the public art cash in lieu amount, and to change the community benefits agreement from a requirement to an option. The site, shown in red, is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Oak Street and 12th Avenue. The rezoning application, which was submitted by the VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation, is for properties located across from the Diamond Healthcare Center and Vancouver General Hospital. The site comprises 3 parcels with an existing 3-story rental building at Oak Street and the Windermere Care Center at Laurel Street. The site contains 26 rental units and has 22 tenancies that are eligible for provisions under the Tenant Relocation and Protection Policy. The Broadway plan allows for greater heights and densities at this location. The plan identifies the site as a large and unique site for the Vancouver General Hospital campus. The plan supports expansion of the VGH campus, including for open space, services, and amenities to serve the hospital precinct. The application proposes 2 buildings, a 26-story west building and a 28-story east building with an FSR of 14.2. The proposed uses include clinical, diagnostic, and medical support space. Some ground floor commercial is proposed for both buildings. In phase 1 of the project, in the west building along Oak Street, 280 long-term care beds for seniors are proposed. In a future stage, a 25-space childcare is proposed for the east building. A total of 27 public submissions were received, including through an online question and answer period that was held in April of this year. Support was expressed for the development proposal, the choice of location, and improvements to neighborhood character. There, however, were public concerns about height, density, and massing, but staff note that the proposal is consistent with the Broadway plan and the building massing is appropriate for institutional uses. The public expressed concerns about sunlight and views. However, staff note there are no new shadow or view impacts as per policy requirements. Further, there is no policy for protection of private views. In response to public concerns about traffic and parking, staff note that the slope site proposes 3.5 stories of parking and the site is well served by frequent transit. The applicant has offered an in-kind community amenity contribution of a 25-space childcare. The applicant will also pay approximately $30 million in DCLs and public art. In conclusion, the proposal aligns with the Broadway plan and allows for an increase in healthcare space. Staff recommend approval subject to conditions outlined in Appendix B of the report. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application?
Chair, Mayor Sim, and councillors, thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your commitment to the health and well-being of Vancouver residents. My name is Angela Chapman, President and CEO of VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. Our foundation is the leading charity investing in healthcare innovation in BC and exists to bridge the gap between what public funding can provide and what our health system urgently needs. And to do so with innovative, community-driven solutions that expand access to care for people across Vancouver and the region. The redevelopment before you at 900 and 990 West 12th Avenue reflects exactly that mission. It is a rare opportunity to deliver healthcare infrastructure that otherwise would not move forward through conventional public capital funding alone. VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation is the owner of this property. It is located directly across from the Vancouver General Hospital and will allow the foundation to expand and modernize the VGH campus at a time when demand for high-quality, accessible care continues to grow. The project replaces dispersed, aging clinical spaces with modern facilities supporting innovative care in various clinical and research areas such as transplantation, oncology, cardiac innovation, complex medicine, and seniors' health. All areas where Vancouver is a provincial and a national leader. A central component is a new state-of-the-art long-term care facility with 280 new beds, a meaningful and much-needed expansion of capacity that will improve seniors' care and relieve pressure on acute care hospitals. Importantly, the 207 existing beds at Windermere Care Centre will remain open and fully operational throughout the first phase of construction. What truly distinguishes this project is how it is being delivered. It does not rely on government capital dollars. Instead, it is powered by donors, individuals, corporations, and philanthropists who believe in strengthening our public healthcare system. I would now like to invite Christina Anthony, volunteer chair of our Property Development Task Force, to talk about, who has been really the steadfast champion of this program, to talk a little bit about it.
Thank you, Angela. Through this unique model, the foundation retains the property, Vancouver Coastal Health leases the facilities, and every net dollar from those leases is reinvested directly back into patient care. This approach has become a signature strength of our foundation, enabling us to accelerate capital development, drive innovation, and expand access to care in ways that complement and enhance the public system. A huge win for those who matter most, patients and their families. Ultimately, this redevelopment strengthens BC and Vancouver's healthcare system, creates jobs, modernizes essential facilities, and supports both economic and community well-being. Most importantly, it will improve outcomes for the thousands of patients who rely on VGH every day. So on behalf of our foundation, our board, our donors, and the patients we help, I respectfully ask for Council's approval of this rezoning application so that this vital work can move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Councillor Claassen.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, staff, and to the applicant for the presentation. Just a couple of quick questions. First of all, I'm quite heartened to hear about the 280 long-term beds plans for this site here. I did hear the applicant talk about existing beds at the older Windermere facility. There's 207 beds, I believe, there. So I presume that means a net new 73 beds for this particular site. Is that correct?
In fact, because that is the phase 2 of our development, the second building, the east building, and because of the real shortage of long-term care at the moment, our plan is to develop the first phase and have the 280 be additional new beds. There is a decline, of course, going into the 2030s on the a need for long-term care that will peak, at which point either we have replacement within the Vancouver Coastal Health System for people that can leave that building and be housed somewhere else, or in fact, that building stays put until we are able to find proper housing for that, for the demand that there is for long-term care.
Okay, that's very interesting. Does that mean that the Windermere building might get some updates or retrofits as
We've
a result?
actually, since we bought it in 2022, we have been doing all of that maintenance and updating. So repairs to the roofs, various repairs that have been ongoing. But yes, and including adding a cooling system. So there's now air conditioning in that building since we purchased it in 2022.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks very much. And obviously, very exciting. And I want to congratulate you as well, just on the fact that there's all that philanthropic support for this project. This next question might just relate to staff, and I just want to take an opportunity, just because there is quite a bit of work happening around VGH with regards to a master plan, and I just wanted to just ask staff, it might be sort of catching them a little off guard, but whether they have any broad understanding of how the VGH master planning process is going, given that it probably relates overall to this district.
Hi there. Thanks for the question. Hale Jones-Cox, Senior Planner with the Special Projects Office. Yeah, so there is a separate process that's underway at this moment. We have received an application for VGH proper in terms of a campus master plan work that's underway. You will be seeing that coming this year. There's kind of 3 parts to that process. The first is a short or near-term text amendment that'll be coming forward to council aimed for this year, and that's actually to enable a new addition of an expansion for the emergency department as well as inpatient care. And at the same time, we'll also be looking to bring some additional policy almost as an appendix to the Broadway plan like you saw for the Civic District and the City Hall campus here. And those things are going to be coming forward to you this year, with a longer time frame for that to enable and actually a broader rezoning for the entirety of the VGH campus. And we're looking to bring that probably in next year. So that work is well underway, and as you've been here today, that's actually, it's a separate project entirely from what's being shown today, but we're looking forward to bringing that work to you in the future.
And thanks very much. A very fulsome answer. I didn't even give you quite a bit of good information there. I appreciate it. Thanks very much. Those are my questions, Mayor.
Great, thank you very much. Councillor Orr.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just a quick question sort of on the phasing. So like the first phase of the building will be the 280 beds. And then when Windermere comes down, what's going to replace that? Is that mostly going to be medical facilities, or will there be any housing associated with that? Or
Mayor and Council, Mark Thompson, the architect for the project. The second phase is very similar to the non-long-term care portions of the first phase, which is clinical space in the podium, a daycare on top of the podium, and then clinical office space above that is supporting the VGH campus. That's very similar to the first phase, which has a larger clinical podium, for long-term care in the middle, and then clinical office space on the top.
Okay, excellent. Thanks. That's all my questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so now this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll-free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium on the left side of the public gallery, which is my right. When your name is called, phone-in speakers will be unmuted when your name is called. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. So our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Avtar Baines.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to say a couple of words today. My name is Avtar Baines. I'm a resident of Vancouver, and I fully support the approval of the rezoning application of 900 block West 12th Avenue by the VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. Now, well, that's a good idea. Thank you. Thank you. I believe everyone in this room, we share a common denominator. Everyone. We share a common denominator. And our common denominator is, how do we do things better moving forward? Whether it's the mayor working with council or the local entrepreneur, many who are having very difficult times in a stagnant economy, but they're still working on how to move forward. Or the volunteer that organizes youth soccer. Always want to do things better moving forward. Indeed, even the Vancouver Canucks are looking for ways to do better moving forward. Now, that was supposed to be a joke. It wasn't a great joke, but it was supposed to be a joke.
We're all crying inside right
That's right.
now.
Yeah, that's right.
Avtar.
Well, the same holds true with the VGH Hospital Foundation. It was just over 7 years ago that a number of volunteers, including myself, together with people from VGH and the foundation, and we asked ourselves a very important question. How do we improve the healthcare for our citizens as we now know the downstream demand for health services will be enormous? So what is proposed is a bold philanthropic initiative. We are not employing public funds, as already been noted. The capital is coming from people who want to make a positive impact in the lives of our citizens. Many people believe, or some people believe, I should say, that philanthropists donate because they have money. That is not the case. Philanthropists donate because they care, whether big or small. As Angela has noted, there is much to care about. There's much to care about improving the broader health care system. What's interesting, I was looking at a file the other day, and I located this map. Okay, and this map shows this map is, I think, between 20 and 25 years old, and it shows the zoning in downtown Vancouver. And you can't see it, but in purple, there's a 5 zone, a 7 zone, a 9 zone, a 2+1+1 zone. So what's important to note is the market is always fluid. Always fluid. And this zoning map shows that if we had the zoning from 25 years ago and it existed today, many of our wonderful landmarks would not exist. For example, the Stack on 1100 block Melville, beautiful building, world-class building, would not be built under the old zoning. Our marketplace is internationally known for mixed-use developments, whether that's hotel and commercial and residential. We have integrated retail, office, and residential, and we are really the standard in the world where people come from all sorts of jurisdictions, both investors and different jurisdictions, to see how mixed-use developments should be created. So mixed-use developments, and based on the zoning of yesteryear, there's no way we would ever have a 60-story building in downtown Vancouver. So I believe city staff, together with elected officials, have done a wonderful job assessing the realities of the marketplace and amending policy appropriately. Personally, I can't think of a better proposal for rezoning than what the foundation is presenting today. Finally, I do not believe that we are simply building a building. We are not simply building a building. What we are doing is creating infrastructure which is required to serve generations to come. Similar to our roads, our bridges, the SkyTrain, the seawall, the water that the city delivers to all our citizens' homes and businesses. Hospitals form part of the infrastructure of our city.
And
too often we take our infrastructure for granted. I do. I take it for granted that we have roads. I take it for granted that I'm already over time.
yeah, sorry,
I
after
feel that-
we were all
For
like
these reasons, I
enamored,
wholeheartedly
so
feel and endorse the approval of the rezoning application.
thank you very much.
And sorry, I'm overdone.
That's okay. Thank you very much, Avatar. Our next speaker is speaker number 2, Dr. Phil Teal.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm Dr. Philip Teal. I'm a neurologist and head of the Division of Neurology at Vancouver General Hospital and UBC Hospital. I'm here to speak to you about the clinical aspects of this project. My apologies for wearing fairly casual work garb. It looks staged, but every third Thursday I do an outreach First Nations clinic in Pemberton. I was there today and expected to get down in time, but I encountered traffic on the bridge, so I didn't have time to change. My apologies. So I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the critical role that Vancouver General Hospital plays in the healthcare to the locally, the region, and the province. We are the largest hospital, of course. We're a medical, surgical, psychiatric hospital. We have an incredibly busy emergency department. We have an ICU that stretches for a block and a half, literally. We have all sorts of specialized medical and surgical programs, the spine program, lung transplant program, cancer surgery, advanced cardiac surgery. We have multiple medical clinics and services, the epilepsy program, neuroscience, psychiatry, bone marrow transplant. We serve the province in many ways every day. Now, the demand for hospital care continues to grow on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You can pick up the newspaper and see the stresses that our healthcare system is under, whether it's closure of obstetrical units or pediatric wards or emergency departments. It's happening every week. Just this past week, our program, the neurology program, was asked by Interior Health to provide neurology coverage for Interior Health. That's sort of the role that VGH takes on. We're sort of the last resort for the whole province. So to meet these evolving needs and the expanding population and the aging of the population, we need to have better services. Our demographic projections estimate that we'll have an increase in the number of patients over the age of 75 in our immediate catchment area by 20% within the next 10 years. I'm a neurologist. What does that mean? Increasing numbers of elderly patients mean increasing numbers of our most disabling illnesses, stroke and dementia. And anyone who's not worried about dementia, you must have family members, relatives. There's huge developments in that zone. We do not have the capacity to deal with the new diagnostics and the new treatments. We have to expand our footprint to be able to do that. So I think this project is really unique. It offers the opportunity to expand and allow us to develop these programs, the Neuroscience Institute, the Cardiovascular Institute, and other services right on the VGH campus. This space will also allow us to recruit personnel, which is becoming increasingly difficult in Vancouver due to the cost of housing and living, and allow us to recruit the best researchers, clinicians, nurse practitioners, nurses, allied health, and so on. I think as we move forward, I think this will allow us to re-engineer how we provide outpatient care, and it will work in a completely seamless fashion with the inpatient services. And what we hope to do, of course, is allow us to bring patients in from wherever, investigate them, see them efficiently, treat them and get them back to their home, wherever that may be. So on behalf of my colleagues, medical colleagues and the foundation, I really hope you provide your support on this project. I think it's an amazing opportunity for us. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Speaker number 3, Robert O'Neill.
Operations Director for Long-Term Care at Vancouver Coastal Health. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to share why this redevelopment is so critically important for long-term care. Our region is facing a significant shortage of long-term care beds, and the demand has grown and will continue to grow over the next few years. The shortage has system-wide impacts. Acute care beds in hospitals are frequently occupied by patients who no longer require hospital stay, but can't be safely discharged because of a shortage of long-term care beds. When long-term care capacity is insufficient, it creates backlogs in emergency departments, delays admissions, and limits the system's ability to respond to fluctuating surge demands across the region. This redevelopment directly addresses those pressures by addressing new, modern long-term care capacity integrated within the hospital campus and the broader community. By ensuring long-term care patients are cared for in appropriate settings, the project helps free up acute care beds for patients who truly need them. This improves patient flow across the system and supports more timely access to care for everyone. Many of our existing long-term care facilities were built decades ago, many in the 70s and 80s. And while staffing levels are high and quality of care is excellent, physical environments were not designed to today's standards. Provincial direction now emphasizes private, single-bed rooms as the best practice to support infection prevention, resident safety, and dignity. Modern facilities also support better staffing models, improve infection control, and higher quality of life for residents. And this project aligns directly with those objectives. From an operational perspective, adding modern long-term care capacity strengthens and sustains our healthcare systems as a whole. It allows us to plan for future demographic changes, sponsors more effective and increased opportunities for care, and manages pressures in hospitals in a more coordinated way. Ultimately, this redevelopment is about ensuring seniors receive care in environments that are safe, dignified, and appropriate, while supporting a healthcare system that works better for patients, families, and providers. Thank you for considering this important project. This redevelopment represents a meaningful step forwards for long-term care and for the healthcare system at whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. And we have another one, Glenn Smith.
Hi, my name's Glenn Smith. I'm an actual resident of 990 West 12th. I thought you might want to see someone who's going to be displaced by this development. Not by my choice, of course. I understand the urgency requirement for this proposal, but there are people living there now who have to find a place to live. I'm one of them. I'm a senior. I'll probably end up in a senior's residence somewhere, long-term care. I'm not the only one in the building, but we're not covered by the TRPP, we've been told, because there's nowhere for them to put us. Except that there are going to be 280 long-term care beds in this new building. There are only 185 people in the old seniors residence next door. Even if all of them move into this new building, there's still about somewhere 80 to 100 places available. Why do we not have right of refusal on those spaces? Like I say, in general, I approve of the project, wonderful idea, but there are people being displaced. I'm one of them. There are other seniors in my building. some of them not in great shape. And I wanted to speak on their behalf. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, Clerk, are there any more, sorry, are there any
Actually,
additional
Mayor,
speakers?
sorry.
Oh, yes,
Sorry,
sorry,
Mayor.
Councillor
I
Fry.
threw myself on the queue to ask a
Yep.
question to the gentleman who was just speaking.
Yeah, Councillor
Thank
Fry,
you.
please go ahead.
Yeah, is the gentleman still there?
Yes, he is.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, sir, I was curious, hearing what you're talking about. I'm reading the report. It says that 26 rental units and 22 of them are eligible for the TRPP. So I was wondering if you could maybe add a little bit more clarification on your comments as to folks getting.
We've been told that we are not eligible for the one that's, pardon me, I've got it here. Right of first refusal for existing tenants to return to the new building at the current rent or 20% discount on citywide average market rents, whichever is less. That's the program that we should be part of, but apparently we're not because of the nature of this development. Am I
I
wrong?
didn't see that. Well, I'll certainly ask staff when we have a chance to ask staff questions on the next round. That sounds inconsistent with the policy as I understand it. How long have you been a tenant there, if you don't mind me asking?
Over 20 years. I'm not the only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no, I think this policy is designed to support, especially people with your tenure of tenancy. So, and I'm sure that there's staff there who may be looking at you to speak to you even now, and maybe have some clarification. But I'll certainly ask staff when we come back onto that part. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay. Clerk, are there any additional speakers on the line?
There are no additional speakers on the line.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to call in or come forward to the podium. Has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
No additional correspondence has been received.
Okay. Seeing that there are few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now going to close the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kevin McNaney, Planning Consultant. I just wanted to address the TRP issue, and then I'll hand it to the CEO of the foundation for the closing comments. There is a TRP that's applicable to the site, and we've engaged community relations to ensure all the tenants find housing that's affordable to their needs in the long term. The comment around right of first refusal is correct. There isn't residential use being built as part of this development. It's clinical and long-term care, so there are no new rental units that that policy would apply to. But we are working with all tenants. They have received the full benefits of the TRP to find new housing over time. Thank you.
I just wanted to close with, as a foundation that is absolutely concerned and preoccupied with the medical well-being of everyone in this city, we would do everything that we needed to do to ensure that people were appropriately rehoused. It's certainly not it would be inconsistent with our mandate and mission that people end up badly housed or in a state that's going to impact their healthcare, their state of health. And so our partner is here that is taking care of this, and perhaps you maybe just want to make a closing comment around the process.
James Todd, Somerville Community Relations. When we were brought on board of this project, the board really identified us as the heart of the project in terms of the redevelopment itself. And so while we can't speak to an individual case, every avenue will be taken for folks with additional barriers to housing. That includes a step-by-step, I literally could talk an hour about the steps that we would take with folks. This is very early in the process, but we are already identifying and working with certain tenants that have additional barriers to housing. And that includes a step-by-step process into identifying the kinds of housing that they would be required to, or that we would be required to provide for those folks across the region based on their various needs. So, and all of those are additional to the tenant relocation policies and included, and will be followed to a T. So I just wanted to assure that absolutely we're aware of the specifically folks in this building, that existing building, that have those barriers to housing, and we are working with those folks very closely.
Thank you very much. Okay, do our team members have any closing comments?
A reminder about the yellow memo attached to this report. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Does council have any final questions for our team members? Councillor Kirby-Young.
Yeah, I do have one quick follow-up because my question was addressed and clarified that the TRPP does apply, but it's specifically the right of first refusal that does not. And I guess asking the question to staff, since we can't ask of the applicant, will you also be following up to ensure they reach out to that gentleman who spoke, our last speaker, and he's aware of what his options are with respect to relocation?
I'll refer the question to my colleagues in housing. They have been dealing directly with them, with the individuals.
Hi, Michelle Vernoy, housing planner. Yes, we will be following up with this tenant to ensure that he understands, what he will be offered, and to ensure that it will take place for him.
Okay, thanks. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Okay. Seeing no one else in the queue, Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
No.
Thank you very much. I will remind council that we need to move the recommendation for item number 4 together with the yellow memo dated January the 6th, 2026, entitled CD-1 rezoning 900 through 990 West 12th Avenue, amendments to modify rezoning conditions. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendations? Thank you. Moved by Councillor Kirby-Young, seconded by Councillor Meisner. Council, is there any discussion? Councillor Klassen.
Thanks very much, Mayor. Just a sort of general set of thoughts and comments here. many of my colleagues will know, I come from the seniors care sector, advocating for support and increase in beds. And I'm extremely heartened by the prospect of 280 new public beds in a city that has a shortage that is well in excess of that number. But this is an incredibly important start. Again, I want to congratulate the foundation for their success in getting the level of support they needed to try and move this important project forward. Um, you know, if there is, I mean, we often get asked about what are the things that cause us sleepless nights. One for me is certainly our aging demographic, and I thought Mr. O'Neill did a very good job of describing how important long-term care is in terms of our continuum of care, and really explained how important it is to our overall medical system. And with a demographic that is getting older in our city, this will really be an important and vital step to making sure that people in community are served and protected. And I've had numerous conversations in this term with Vancouver Coastal Health about the numbers, about the need to try and make sure that we do everything we can, both with public beds and other operators, and upgrading and retrofitting older facilities as well, to make sure that the bed count can continue to rise as that aging demographic rises over the next 10 years or so. Very happy to support this project. For those who heard my earlier question about the overall master plan for VGH, I'm really proud and excited that we have Vancouver Coastal Health, Vancouver General Hospital, is incredibly important facilities that serve our entire city and our province, and employ so many people here. And I think we will go a long way by making sure that we can improve and update these important facilities right here in our city, right here in the center of our city. So thanks to the applicant, thanks to staff, and I look forward to supporting this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Meisner.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I want to thank all the speakers from the foundation, from VGH, who came to speak, as well as the tenant impacted by the development. I think that this is, a much needed, clearly much needed expansion to the healthcare capacity at VGH that will expand and modernize the campus. And also, it's great to hear about the increased number of long-term care beds. I know how much demand there are for those, and it'll be great to have new ones in a new building. And also, I appreciate the thoughtful approach in terms of maintaining the existing rooms while the new building is being built. And on the TRP issue, it is a bit of an unusual situation with the current tenant not having a new building to go back to on the same site. But based on what I've heard tonight, and also just based on my experience working with Somerville and also the foundation, and I know you're obviously wanting to ensure that people are put into good situations and that they'll be placed into another affordable rental project. So just want to strongly support what you're doing here, and thank you for all the work you do for everyone in our region and across the province.
Thank you very much. Can I cede the chair to Acting Mayor Joe? Can I get my timer restarted, please? Thank you. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge Mr. Smith. We can talk about how things are going to work out well and stuff, and housing is deeply personal, and just want to acknowledge, the situation that you're in. And while my words may not help I do know the individuals involved in this project just through reputation and interactions. And I can tell you, if they say they're going to be super thoughtful and work on it to make sure people are taken care of, I will take them at face value because I know the quality and the character of the individuals involved. So with that, I do want to stress that the role of mayor and council is we need to look towards the good of the whole over the long term. And so this project is incredibly exciting. Similar to Councillor Klassen, I've spent a long time in elder care. So when I hear 280 long-term care beds, that is very exciting because I actually know the scale of that relative to other long-term care facilities. And just as a note, and I know this is still incredibly young, but by the year 2030, 1 out of 4 people in the city of Vancouver are going to be over the age of 65. And so that's what we're dealing with. And it's going to be coming in on like a wave. So this couldn't come fast enough. Also, 25 childcare spaces. There are so many young families that struggle to get care for their kids, and they're forced to leave our city. And so, once again, these childcare spaces are incredibly welcomed. The project is centrally located. It's right on the VGH campus. It's near transit, the Broadway line. Dr. Teal, you talked about dementia. And I don't think the general public understands how big of an issue this is going to be. Over the next decade, it's my personal view, and it's one supported by people in the industry, knows that it's going to hit us hard. And I truly believe almost every single person in this province will be affected either directly or indirectly through a family member going through or experiencing Alzheimer's or dementia. And so, when I look at this project and it helps, it's amazing. So what this project represents, it represents a modernization of facilities. It represents meaningful jobs. It represents better health outcomes. The model is incredibly innovative. There's no use of government funds here. So it makes it sustainable and it helps solve a problem that we are all struggling. It doesn't matter municipally, provincially, federally, we are struggling with finances and we are struggling with healthcare, and this does both. And so, Mr. Baines, you mentioned philanthropists. Yeah, talking about you. And you mentioned, the reason they give is because they can. And I agree with that, but I would also add to that. Giving money is one thing, and it's deeply welcome. Giving your time and your skills, those are commodities that are in incredibly short supply. And the foundation represents a lot of people that are highly skilled, that are giving. And I know how busy their schedules are with, their careers and raising families and dealing with all the things that we deal with. And then you add on this extra thing and just nailing it. It's absolutely incredible. So I do want to acknowledge Christina Anthony and Avatar and like everyone who's been involved. And Christina, I know, you've been leading the charge on this, and it's just been amazing to see. And Angela, I want to thank you and your entire team for everything you do. And this isn't me just speaking as a mayor. This is me speaking as a resident of Vancouver, a proud British Columbian and Canadian, and father and family member, and someone who, hopefully if I'm lucky, a long time in the future, I will be able to use these services. And so with that, I think you can tell I enthusiastically support this project, and I'm so thankful that you were all here all along the way to bring this to this stage. And it's been absolutely incredible to watch. So thank you. I'll take back the chair. Is that okay? Councillor Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So I'll be brief. So I like to support this project as well, because I think it's fundamentally about strengthening the Vancouver General Hospital and also ensuring our healthcare service can meet the needs of a growing and aging city of Vancouver. VGH is one of the most important regional hospitals in BC, serving patients from across Vancouver and the province. This proposal enable essential on-campus expansion. New clinical, diagnostic, and medical support space integrated directly into the hospital campus, where it can function most effectively. A major benefit, as we all see, is 280 new long-term care beds. Vancouver faces a significant and growing shortage of long-term care facility, and these beds will help ease the pressure on acute system, reduce hallway medicine, and ensure seniors receive appropriate care in setting designed for their needs. Equally important, I want to highlight is the inclusion of this 25-space childcare facility. Reliable childcare is a clinical support for healthcare workers, many of whom working long, irregular, and overnight shifts. Having worked in healthcare for 15 years, I understand providing childcare within the hospital directly supports recruitment, retention, and well-being of frontline staff. Something we know is essential to the long-term resilience of our healthcare system. Also, from the policy perspective, this project aligns with the Broadway plan, which explicitly supports institutional growth on a large and unique site like VGH campus. The proposed height and density reflect the reality that the major hospital expansion must occur vertically in transit-oriented location, close to the existing services and the emergency infrastructure. Beyond healthcare, there's a lot of other public benefits, including publicly accessible open space, active ground floor use, and also significant public realm improvements that will serve patients, families, staff, and the surrounding communities. So, from all aspects, I think this project delivers everything we need for this particular neighborhood and for our city. So, for this reason, I want to support this project, and happy to support this important hospital expansion moving forward. And also for the tenant who spoke today and other tenants, I think our staff will reach out, provide some solutions. And if you encounter any issue, as always, you can always feel free to reach out to council, and we're going to help you advocate for your opportunities in the future. Yeah, with that, enthusiastically support this project.
Great. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Fry.
Yeah, I just want to comment on, and echoing everything that everybody said about the value of the childcare and obviously the clinical space and the work that's going on for healthcare and aging population and all of that. This is really actually quite a remarkable building, I have to say as well. So to the architects, I'm impressed by what you've managed to shoehorn into this piece of land with all that's going on, and having lots of green space and openness to it as well, and appreciative of the ground level retail and stuff. And I think it really will add quite a lot of dynamism to that particular piece of 12th Avenue. And I'm also very appreciative to hear from Mr. Smith and to hear the response. And obviously, yes, there will be no right of first refusal to tenant that particular building because it's not being built as a residential building, and I think that's been made clear. But I also take great solace in the fact that James Todd was managing to respond there, because I do know the work that they do with tenant relocation is very conscientious and incredibly thoughtful, and I know for sure that the tenants in this building will be well considered and well compensated and relocated and all the things. So really happy to support this project, happy to get that clarification, and I hope that if Mr. Smith is still there, somebody can explain some of the nuances of this and moving forward. And he can share that in turn with his neighbors, who I'm sure are equally stressed out about this. But I also want to acknowledge that Mr. Smith was very clear and also being quite supportive of this project, because I think we all recognize this as a fantastic project and a really great opportunity for Vancouver and British Columbians. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And Councillor, Mr. Smith still is here, so he heard everything you said.
Well, there you go.
Great, thank you. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I will be brief and just express my gratitude to everybody that worked on this project. I'm grateful that there are minds brighter than mine that have taken it to heart. I think it was Avtar that spoke about a better way of doing things. And so it is an innovative partnership with the VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation and Coastal Health. And I think that we need to have that level of innovation and people that are sort of prepared to put that creativity and commitment in to finding those solutions and moving forward. It is noteworthy, and I think others have spoke about it, that the population of older adults 55 plus is going to increase by 30% in the next 20 years. And we do have a tsunami coming at us. And so this is very much appreciated. I'm looking forward to seeing once it is built, how it will impact how the care and clinical services are delivered. And hopefully that will inform some of the master planning work that VGH is also undertaking, and be a positive opportunity to sort of continue to innovate in healthcare, because it certainly is something that we hear is important to residents in our city. And so thank you to everybody who has contributed to it. We are grateful.
Thank you, Councillor Maloney.
Thanks. I wanted to very briefly acknowledge the work that's gone into this, and particularly the donations of money and time from the various donors, and the work of the foundation. And it makes me feel really good that this project is going ahead, not just to provide better clinical outcomes, but to gather, as you say, the clinical spaces into one place, to allow coordination. And not the least of my gratefulness for this project is that I think the more hospital buildings that are rebuilt post-1990s to be seismically safe, the happier I'll be. So thanks very much. I'll be supporting this.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Okay, a reminder that any council member participating virtually whose video is disabled will be marked absent for the vote pursuant to section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. So I'm now going to call the vote. If we can please go to the voting screen. Suspense is killing us. Let me tell you. Councillor Bly. Councillor Bly online still. Yep. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. And that passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you for all the hard work that everyone's put into this. And that completes item number 4. We need a motion to adjourn. Councillor Kirby-Young, seconded by Councillor Meisner. All those in favor say yay. All those opposed say nay. Great. This meeting is adjourned.